Hi everyone, it's Ailin here, back again for another video. So I've been wanting to make another Q&A video for some time now, and I'm really excited to finally hop on in front of the camera now and just, have a chat about health with you guys. Have a chat about detoxification for those of you that are looking to heal yourself or looking to follow a healthy lifestyle, or if you're looking to stay motivated or inspired on your detoxification journey, then this is the place for you. This is the channel for you. So guys, I'm just gonna hop right into it in answering your questions, because there are many questions that have been sort of lingering on in the comment section on the YouTube videos. And so yeah, I've been seeing them come in and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to address all these questions for you guys. So yeah, I might actually wear these blue light glasses, maybe not, it depends. If I feel like my eyes are being strained too much from the blue light emitted from the laptop, then I might just pop them on, but they're blue light glasses. I don't need it for, my vision. My vision is very good, thankfully. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, actually, I'm curious. What are you guys having to eat right now? Comment down below what raw food you're eating. If you're, munching on some grapes or some watermelon or a smoothie or whatnot while watching this video. I want to share my smoothie right now. This smoothie is a smoothie of dragon fruit and strawberries and banana. And the base is coconut water with a little bit of cold pressed apple juice. And I also put some superfoods and superfood formula in there of greens like alfalfa, kelp, things like that. So yeah, I really like it. It's very tasty. And look at that color. That color is so rich. You already know when you see vibrancy in the foods that you're eating. Just imagine all that vibrant energy going into your nervous system, going into your glands, and cleaning and healing all the tissues of your body, right? And you just don't get that amount of vibrational, magnetic, astringency, hydrating factors from foods that look kind of dead, from foods that look beige, brown, gray, white. You just don't get that, right? You really get that from the fruits and the raw foods, in particularly all types of fruits, all types of berries, and all types of melons. Those are going to be the #1 healing foods for your body, right? So yeah, I'm curious as to what you guys are eating, so comment down below, and I can't wait to read your responses. So we're gonna hop right on to the questions now. Okay, so first question is, Ailin, my name is Omayra. I used to weigh 113 pounds. In 2014, I had liver disease of fatty liver, and I had lost weight rapidly, down to 102 at the time. I had changed my diet to vegan, mainly raw, and I took a combination of herbs and healed my liver. That's so great. We get a lot of people that come to us here, Spiritual Healing. We get a lot of people with fatty this, fatty that, fatty tumors, fatty liver, fatty heart, elevated cholesterol levels, fatty kidney disease. This word fatty is being thrown around a lot when it comes to disease. And I'm here to tell you that anytime you have fatty anything, it's really due to acidosis, just the cellular waste building up within your body, and your body in turn combating it with fatty deposits. If you're not removing the cellular waste that all your cells are producing, if you're not removing the acidic waste just from let's say if you're on a diet of acidic foods like meat and dairy and processed foods and wheat and gluten and grains and things like that, then all those acids are going to continuously build up in your body. And if your kidneys are not filtering these wastes out, then your body goes into emergency mode. It starts to think, okay, what can I do to help combat the burning of these acidic wastes? Because acids, all types of acids burn all the cells and tissues of your body. Cellular wastes in themselves are highly acidic and highly putrefactive and have those burning sensations throughout your body. So when cells and tissues start to burn, they start to become mutated, become denatured, the tissue starts to break down, degenerate, gland and organ function starts to plummet. So what the body does is it's very intelligent. It starts to plaque cholesterol or deposit fatty deposits around the body, right? Because fat is actually the body's main way of combating acids. The second and third ways are actually water, like, if people experience edema, you're holding onto water weight, that signifies that you have acids in those areas that you're holding onto water. And thirdly is calcium. People that experience calcium deposits or calcifications or bone spurs or the leaching of calcium from connective tissue or bones from like osteoporosis, osteopenia, all those different types of things. Scoliosis too, when it starts to grab from the spine. Just think to yourself, if you experience any of those, it means you are suffering from a highly involved systemic acidosis or even localized acidosis, depending on where it's happening the most. But usually if you're already seeing these symptoms, like let's say for yourself you are experiencing or were experiencing it in your liver, then you can put your money on that you are going to be experiencing that same level of acidosis throughout your colon, your GI tract, your pancreas, your entire digestive system, because the lymph system backs up very quickly. And it's not like this is unheard of. It's so rare for someone to come to us with just one symptom or one problem and not have other problems involved, because the body is completely interconnected. And we can really see this when we take a look at your eyes through iridology. When I take a look at your case, your symptoms, your eyes, no one that ever comes to us only has just one lacuna or one lesion in the eyes, like one area of weakness. No. People normally have several different areas that are weak, several different glands and organs that are weak. And lymphatic stagnation especially is not just localized to one area of the body or, in turn, one area of the iris. It's usually highly encompassing all throughout, because the lymph system runs all throughout our bodies from head to toe, right? So I just wanted to start off with that. But I'm glad that you were able to see at least, your symptomology or your blood test, that it says you don't have fatty liver disease anymore. Through changing your diet to vegan, high raw with taking herbs, that's great. Okay, so let's continue on. But you did lose a lot of weight, I see here. You said you used to weigh 113 and now you weigh 102. Okay, so you said you changed your diet. Praise God that you healed your liver. That's nice. At the present time, I never gained my weight back. I currently weigh 103 and I eat, but I feel I'm starving myself. I have no fat in my body to the point where I see my veins in my arms. I believe I am not breaking down fats. Okay, so we do see this a lot, but not only in people that eat raw foods or even vegan, but as I'm sure you guys, like even me personally, when I was in high school, I would see these, my peers, I would see people just smashing the hamburgers, the fries, the chicken nuggets. Like there were some people that seemed to eat a lot, like several times a day, and they would never gain a pound or they would never just put on any fat or any weight at all, right? So this indicates malabsorption issues. And like I said, it's not limited to just any particular demographic or person, depending on their diet. A lot of different types of people have malabsorption issues. And this is because our society has just really fallen to eating mucus forming foods, acid forming foods. We've in a sense devolved. We've in a sense stepped away from eating the foods that our human physiology was designed to eat. As humans, we are frugivorous species. Everything about our physiology and anatomy points to us really thriving and needing simple sugars from fruits, and having our diet be the base, like the base of the diet be fruits and raw foods. So the ideal diet that a human being should be following, you know, is, I would say, about 80% fruits, the other 20% being salads, greens, vegetables, small amounts of nuts and seeds, maybe 5 to 10% of the diet being nuts and seeds, or fats of that nature, you know, like avocados, things like that, for balance. But really, you see that since we have a very sluggish lymphatic system, slow-moving lymphatic system, since we are a society that has become so susceptible to diseases that are very preventable, you know, diseases like cancer and diabetes and obesity and heart-related diseases and kidney disease, you know, the list just goes on. And nowadays, even autoimmune diseases, right? Acidic, painful, inflammatory diseases. All these things are easily preventable just from switching one's diet. So really, detoxification is about going back, reversing all the inflammation that's in your body, undoing what you have done to your body. In that way, in that simplistic way of thinking, then you're going to achieve health in your body. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? So, you know, back again to malabsorption. Because of all these acidifying foods, most acidic foods are actually mucus forming. When we ingest them into our bodies, the colon, the intestines, the mucosa tissue produces mucus when it's met with acidic foods or acidic toxicity or an acidic environmental factor, right? It starts to produce mucus as a way to protect itself, because the mucosa tissue is very sensitive tissue, okay? That's another way for the body to protect the tissue. So constantly the body's trying to protect itself, but you don't want to be in this state of like constant protection, constant emergency mode. You want to work in conjunction with your body. You want to give your body the best fighting chance at combating disease. And it's not enough to just skate on by. It's not enough to just be like, okay, I feel just okay, right? Feeling just okay is not going to cut it, because if you only just feel okay, your lymph system is backing up in its cellular waste and its sewage. You want to feel amazing while on a raw food diet, while eating a diet high in fruits. That's how you know you're really reaching it, right? And the number one way to know that you're really reaching the root cause of disease is through elimination. Are you eliminating these acids on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? How much are you eliminating? If you are eliminating the years and years and years of compounded waste, such as mucus, mucoid plaque, acidosis, sulfur from antibiotics, parasites, and toxicity, you will visibly see all these things coming out of your body during detoxification. You will see it coming out of your colon when you use the bathroom, through your urine when you urinate. You'll be a good sweater. You'll easily sweat all these acids from the skin, right? You'll visibly see some parasites, some parasite eggs coming out through your stools if you examine your stools. You can see the different colors coming out through your stools as well if you're someone that has taken a lot of antibiotics over the years. Antibiotics contain sulfur compounds. Sulfur is highly acidic and highly burns you from head to toe and backs up and suppresses the lymphatic system and the lymph nodes, right? So you'll see this sulfur in orange and yellow colors, in the very rancid smells escaping you. You want all this stuff to come out of you. You don't want to keep it in, because really 99% of all diseases, and you know, that's really just being politically correct, I would say 100% of all diseases are caused by just these acidic factors and how they mutate the cells, change the cells, either change them on a genetic level from the DNA through your parents and grandparents and what they pass down onto you, You know, at the root of it all is always acidosis, because even if someone is born with a genetic mutation, right? Why? Because past generations, they were consuming acidifying foods, which changed the genetic makeup of the cells. Or, you know, most people have a combination of weakened genetics, weakened genes, genetic weaknesses, right? And environmental factors, just the foods that they're currently consuming, turning on those genes that in turn, you know, shows us diseases, right? So with all that being said, we know that the colon is extremely occluded in every single person. And I say this because as an iridologist, I've read hundreds, thousands of eyes over the years, you know, pinpointing all the weaknesses in each person, each client's body, and how we're going to heal their disease, right? Or the combination of their diseases. And really, the percentage of what I consider to be a healthy colon is almost non-existent. I'd say maybe 1% of all the eyes that I've read had a decent colon, right? The colon can be seen a third of the way out from the pupil in iridology. And for those of you that are new to iridology or you don't know what I'm talking about, iridology is essentially the study of the iris, because through the nervous system, since the nervous system is all throughout the body, just like the lymphatic system, the nervous system is connected to all the different tissues, all the different organs and glands, with the nerve flow feeding it, right? Making things happen in the body. But all those nerves connect to the optic nerve as well in the iris. So anytime you feel accumulations, like anytime your body feels accumulations, tissue, organs, or glands, you know, are met with toxicity or are met with genetic weaknesses or any of those things, then the nervous system picks up on that and actually translates it into the iris. So looking at the iris, you can see your level of health in your organs, glands, systems of your body. It's extremely fascinating, and it's been such a useful tool to me and to you know, healthcare practitioners that have used iridology with detoxification. That's very important, because just using iridology is not it's not enough in itself. You need to combine it with detoxification and regeneration and the raw foods and the herbs and detox tools to really have the most powerful healing system on the planet. This way of healing is the most powerful way of healing on the entire planet, because we have been able to see the reversal of cancer, tumors, diabetes, type 1 and type 2, kidney disease, lupus, Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, autism. All these diseases that we've been taught are incurable. They are not incurable. They are incurable with the standard that medical doctors have set, or with the standards that your average nutritionist or your average naturopathic doctor has set upon you. You know, not many people have realized that consuming a fruit diet is the way to heal disease. Going through and understanding detoxification symptoms as they're occurring in your body while you're detoxing. Not many people have grasped that. Either they haven't come across that knowledge yet, or they don't understand it, or due to years and years and years of being brainwashed in medical school, or, you know, like just your standard societal way of thinking, they have completely dismissed that we are frugivorous species that thrive on raw foods, raw vegan foods, as a matter of fact, okay? So I know I kind of went like into like a long-winded spiel there, but it's very necessary to understand the basics before moving forward and understanding more of the specifics, right? So because you have lost so much weight I'm here to tell you this. People that have lost weight like this have malabsorption issues. What that simply means is this. You can either have a pancreas weakness, meaning you're not fully digesting the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats from the foods that you're eating, which obviously, if you're not digesting properly, if you see undigested food in your stools, you're not going to be getting the full nutrition from the foods that you're eating. Likewise, someone with malabsorption issues can also have mucus occlusions within the colon, or specifically mucoid plaque lining the intestines, because remember we said that mucus forms when you're highly acidic in the mucosic tissue. So at the end of the day, the body's trying to protect you, but if it stays there, if the mucus lingers there for years and years, you can imagine, oh my goodness, like I'm not really getting the nutrition from the cells, from the foods. I'm not getting the nutrition from the foods into the cells in the intestines. So a lot of the times malabsorption issues, which translates to excessive skinniness, excessive thinness, or major weight loss in the body that is not intentional or not wanted, right? That can be caused from pancreas weakness or mucus occlusions in the colon. More often than not, it's both. Because if your colon is backed up, then the other branches of the GI tract start to become backed up. The pancreas starts to back up lymphatically, as well as the liver gallbladder starts to back up lymphatically. And if your colon is backed up lymphatically speaking, then you know your stomach is as well, your esophagus is as well, all the way up to the head region is as well. So it becomes a lymphatic stagnation issue from head to toe. So you need to really clean out and address all areas of the body, right? So you said you never gained your weight back. You have no fat in your body to the point where you see veins in your arms. Okay, that's quite skinny, quite thin. You believe you're not breaking down your fats. Well, from what you told me before, having fatty liver disease, it seems like you still have some liver gallbladder issues. So you need to dig deep into detoxification by cleaning out your colon, cleaning out the lymph system through the kidneys and the adrenal glands, removing that acidosis so that the tissue in the liver and in the gallbladder can regenerate, because you could be already reaching, you know, like fatty liver is kind of like the acute stage, the beginning stage. It's quite easy to clean that out. But once you start to reach the stages of chronic disease, like chronic liver disease, and then the next stage being liver cirrhosis, that's where things are a little more serious. And you definitely have to put your gear on, step up to the plate, and deeply detoxify your body with a very specific detox protocol and detox program, taking specific herbs for your set of weaknesses, like we've discussed here, you know, colon, kidney, adrenals, lymph, liver, you know, all that stuff, taking specific herbs for those areas and making sure that your diet is 100% raw and seeing all those eliminations coming out of you, okay? So, but I'm so sorry that you said that you feel like you're starving. You know, there's a way to correct all of this. We're going to turn all of this around, okay? You're not going to starve yourself eating raw foods. Raw foods are the most nutritious foods on the entire planet. You know, if you feel like you need a little extra something, you can utilize, you know, the superfoods that I call them, like alfalfa and kelp, to get more nutrition in there. But really, you're not going to be finding adequate alkaline, astringent nutrition, which is what you need to reverse this disease. You're not going to find that outside of the realm of raw foods, which includes fruits, greens, vegetables, and small amounts of nuts and seeds. That's really it. That's what you're going to have to focus on. And a lot of the times people like to complicate things. They think that they're missing something in terms of nutrition, and that's what's causing them their disease. But in fact, it's the opposite. It's because our diets have become too complicated with too many different ingredients and different food groups combined together, creating putrefaction in the body, creating fungal issues, creating all this overload of toxicity and waste. Really keeping your diet as simple as possible, you'll actually see the best reversal of your health issues, okay? So you go on to say, okay, when I check my blood pressure, the systolic is always mid 80 to 95 and my diastolic is 60 to 70. Okay, so this is quite common in people that have adrenal gland weakness. If you see your top number is 80 to 90, that's very chronically weak adrenals. That's very low blood pressure. You can experience a lot of fatigue issues. You can experience inflammation issues because whenever you have that low blood pressure reading on the top, you automatically think, okay, I have very weak adrenal glands. And since the adrenal glands do so much for us, you can see a whole host of various host of different diseases and symptoms in your body. You can see blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, fatigue issues, inflammation issues. You can see even more than that. And of course, you know, the adrenal glands control kidney filtration. They control the kidneys just because of the neurotransmitters that they produce. And that allows the kidneys to open up and filter all the lymphatic waste out of your body. So if you have like lymphatic issues, like you definitely have lymphatic issues, then you want to be on an adrenal formula, an adrenal herbal formula, right? When I look at a person's eyes, like if I were to look at your eyes and if I were to see a very, very weak adrenal gland, we're talking about like a genetic adrenal weakness, then I would definitely recommend a glandular. You need that power in order to help your adrenal glands genetically remember how to function again. And then you'll start to see your kidneys filtering and your lymphatic system filtering out all the acids and waste. So that's what I would recommend. Your diastolic seems good, 60 to 70, that's pretty good. Although the diastolic number, which is the bottom number, represents your kidney health. Sometimes you can see a normal looking number in the beginning with your bottom number, but really to see the health of your kidneys, you'd really have to look at your eyes. Many people have some level of kidney weakness, and I would say like 95% of the population has an adrenal gland weakness of some sorts, but it really depends on what level of weakness we see in your eyes. That's going to depend on what herbal formula you will need, right? So like if your adrenal weakness is not too bad, then an adrenal herbal will suffice. If it's very bad, if it's chronic or degenerative or genetic in nature, you can sometimes do adrenal herbal. Most often I will recommend an adrenal glandular. Some people need a combination of both, so it really depends. But if you have weak a low blood pressure like this with weak adrenals, I highly advise actually taking some licorice root tincture every single day and watch your blood pressure climb and see, you know, your blood pressure will start to rise. It'll reach the healthy level that it needs to be at, which is 120/60 is the best blood pressure. So as close to that as possible as you can get, then that'll be fantastic. Once you see that number, you can stop taking licorice root. But more often than not, I recommend to people to just take licorice root 2 weeks on and then 2 weeks off and then 2 weeks on again and kind of cycle through that, all right? But yeah, so many people say that they have a good success with licorice root while on their detox journey. Okay, now you said I got blood work and my amylase levels are high, 124. So that right there is showing us that you have either acute or chronic pancreatic weakness, okay, with those enzyme levels being elevated. So it is like what I was suspecting, saying, okay, with your malabsorption issues, you have pancreas weakness, right? With your past of having fatty liver, 100%, the liver as well as the pancreas is lymphatically backed up. So you see how it's not just located in your liver, your primary issue, it's all throughout. There's several different causative factors at play here. Okay, and then you said, and my white blood cells are slightly low. That is very concerning. You don't want them to be low. It's actually better if the white blood cells were higher, because that would be very, very easy to take care of. It's really just lymphatic stagnation showing you elevated white blood cells in the blood test. But low white blood cell count indicates usually a problem with the spleen or with the bone marrow, or both. So since that is the case for you, I would recommend a spleen herbal formula, taking that religiously throughout your detox protocol, as well as the bone marrow formula, or an immune system formula. An immune support formula would be really good, or the bone marrow capsules. Any of those would be fantastic at increasing your white blood cell count again, because it's those two regions of the body, the spleen and the bone marrow, that's responsible for producing white blood cells and storing white blood cells. So you want to increase your immunity as best as you possibly can. And yeah, I would definitely add that to your herbal protocol if you were my client. So what could possibly cause this? Okay, spleen and bone marrow formulas are needed for that case. And you also say, I find myself craving carbs like vegan chips, etc. What foods and herbs can you recommend? Okay, so yeah, vegan chips, like in terms of potato chips, those are carbohydrates. People that crave carbohydrates tend to have an adrenal gland weakness, because if you're craving carbs, it really means that you have a lot of fungal issues going on in your body. Fungus makes you crave carbs and starchy foods that, are not healthy carbs. Healthy carbs would be fruits and simple sugars, right? Like fructose. But unhealthy carbs are in the forms of potatoes or rice, or like wheat bread and gluten, things like that. When your adrenal glands are weak, you actually have poor sugar metabolism issues. And when you have problems metabolizing the sugars in your body, any type of sugar, then fungus levels rise. Fungus actually then helps you to break down all these carbohydrates and all these sugars that you're consuming. Now, the solution is to not cut off all sugars or all carbs. If you did that, your cells cannot survive. All cells survive and thrive and need simple sugars, or need sugars. They need some form of sugar, whether that's fructose or glucose or galactose or what have you, right? But the sugar that the cells thrive on and are able to produce healthy results in your body is always going to be from simple sugars like fructose, okay? But because you're all fungled up due to an adrenal gland weakness, then that's why you're craving carbs. Now, since you mentioned vegan chips tend to be very salty, right? So I'm also sensing that you're someone that craves salty foods, and it would make sense because you have such low blood pressure. People with low blood pressure numbers like that, I used to be one of them myself, and we get so many clients that have low blood pressure. They tend to crave salty foods. Salty foods actually give you like a false sense of stimulation to your adrenal glands, because the adrenals are responsible for mineral utilization. So if you are having problems utilizing minerals in your body, you're going to start to crave salt. And then every time you eat salt, you're like, oh wow, I feel a little more stimulated, a little more energized, a little more alive, right? But then it keeps you coming back to more and more salty foods, which salty foods are normally processed foods. So it's like a vicious cycle, right, that you need to get out of. So my recommendation would be take that licorice root. If anything, you can more or less like focus on naturally salty occurring foods. So things like seaweeds like nori or kelp, or like bladderwrack or sea moss, or seaweeds are going to be very, very beneficial. You can also consume vegetables or greens that are also high in sodium, like celery has a lot of sodium content in it, romaine lettuce, any type of lettuce, any type of green like that is very beneficial. And even, you know, fruits contain natural sodium. When your palate, when your mouth and tongue start to become very clean, you know, the healthier you eat, the more you clean out your palate, and the more tasty healthy foods become to you. Then you'll even be able to taste the saltiness from the foods that you're consuming, right? So yeah, the more you eat healthy raw foods, the less your craving for salt and carbohydrates will become, because your body's going to start to feel amazing. And at the same time, all these fruits and raw foods are anti-candida, anti-parasitic, antibacterial, antiviral. They're anti all of those microorganisms that your body starts to accumulate when you are overloaded with all types of chemistry, right? Because really those microorganisms are secondary. They're not the root cause of the problem, even though medical doctors have told people that they're the number one cause of the problem. Really, it's all about cleaning the terrain and getting your glands and organs to function properly. If you cover that, if you cover your bases on that, then you don't have to worry about these secondary factors. Remember, it's not really the cause, it's more of an effect of having a stagnant lymph system. The bacteria and candida and all that stuff is more of a direct effect from having all these weaknesses in the glands and organs and systems of your body. I hope that makes sense, okay? But yeah, you really don't have to like focus too much on consuming salt, because salt is naturally occurring in so many different raw foods. Like for instance, this smoothie right here, dragon fruit has a ton of electrolytes in it. So do berries like strawberries. So does the coconut water in this smoothie drink, right? So you don't have to worry about salt. If you are experiencing salt cravings during your detox journey, and that's really like keeping you from taking your diet to the next level, then those are like little tips and little devices that you can use during your raw journey is consuming seaweed like nori, like make nori wraps, right? You can drink some green juice. You can, you know, combine celery juice, apple juice, lemon. You know, lemon and lime actually taste pretty salty. So when you're having your salads, you can sprinkle lemon and lime on them, or anytime you're craving like that saltiness, lemon lime becomes a really good replacement. And if you absolutely feel like you need to add salt to, like, let's say a raw vegan salad in the evenings, then you can use Celtic sea salt, or you can use pink Himalayan salt. I don't ever recommend using iodized salt or any other type of salt besides those two. And really the Celtic sea salt is the best, and then the pink Himalayan salt is pretty close to that. So, and that is because they are very well-bodied salts, meaning that it's not stripped of its other minerals. It's very whole-bodied, and so the body can recognize it when you're ingesting it, okay? And then it doesn't involve the leaching factors of other chemistry to try and balance that isolated chemistry out, right? So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, really, in this herbal protocol, I would definitely include a liver, gallbladder formula, pancreas formula to really just address like your malabsorption issues and like any liver issues and pancreatic issues that you seem to be having. But yeah, I hope that helped you out, and thank you so much for your question, Omayra. I know you can heal from this, and you'll be able to put that healthy weight back on the more you address your weaknesses, like I discussed, you know, while answering your question. So thank you so much. And yeah, so I'm going to drink some of my smoothie. guys are doing well. Here in Florida, it's become practically like unbearably hot and so humid. Like, Florida's pretty much humid all year round. I would say the best seasons in Florida are going to be in the fall or the spring for sure, because the summertime, I don't really like it. I don't think many people like the summertime in Florida because it's hurricane season and it rains so much and it's so humid. Like, it's so humid and hot here in Florida, and all the bugs and mosquitoes come out during this time, and it becomes like so difficult to even just take a 10-minute walk in a nearby park. Like, it's so bad. Like, usually I'll have to wear like long leggings, wear like a light jacket to keep the gnats and the mosquitoes from biting me, because and oh my god, we even have like these golden looking flies here. They're even worse than mosquitoes and gnats. They will never stop following you or trying to bite you, and their bites are pretty bad. So I've been grateful to Florida and the years that I've lived here, because it allowed me to have a change of scenery, a change of environment, and like have warmer weather. That's something that I never got growing up in New York, and then, you know, moving to Philadelphia when I did, it was pretty brutal winters there. And then in Florida, the winters and the fall season and the spring season, they're pretty great, but the summertime is torturous, and I just can't wait to get out of here. So yeah, but I've really been spending a lot of times indoors because of that lately, sadly. But that's gonna change. I'm gonna make it a priority to at least go to the beach once a week, because the beach is, you know, anywhere where it's like very windy in Florida, the only wind that you can get now is if you are like by a pier or by a causeway, right next to the ocean. That's where you can kind of get some of that wind, and, you know, the bugs and the humidity don't bother you as much. But Florida's kind of like a swampy state that is not doing too good for me mentally and physically in my body. So, you know, and I say this a lot in all the videos, like, if you don't like something, you can make a change. You can set goals and set systems in place to get out of that situation. And in order to have the best health in your body, you have to fight for your health nowadays, unfortunately, you know. So if you guys haven't like seriously sat down with yourself and thought about, okay, like, what will make me feel fulfilled and, you know, feel great in my everyday life, you know, sometimes we're living in a place that doesn't really fulfill that desire and that want and that need in ourselves, or sometimes we're around the wrong people all the time, right? You need to sit down with yourself and take a look at your life and see what you want to change. And you know, you have the power to change, just like you have the power to heal your physical body. You can also change your reality out here. You know, more often than not, you know, there are some situations that obviously are difficult and you can't really change it like right now or right away, but you can take certain steps and make plans for the future and take action today so that you can have a brighter future. And like I said, the same thing goes for health. So I know a lot of you that are tuning in have told me in our consultations that you live somewhere where like fruit is not that abundant, or sometimes the weather is like really bad, like it's cold all the time. And as a, you know, as a fruitarian species, we do thrive better in like tropical climates where fruit is more abundant, right? So we can make plans towards the future to move and live in regions like that around the world, right? But for now, you know, take a look at myself and all of my clients. if you're not able to move to these places during your detox journey, you can still heal wherever you are in the world right now. I healed living in, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, where it was very cold all the time, right? And yeah, people heal living in all areas of the world. Some people only have like one supermarket or one like grocery store, and they kind of live in like neighborhoods that are considered to be food deserts, and they still make it work. You can still heal eating fruit from Walmart or eating fruit from just that like one tiny grocery store. So it's all about just doing the best that you can with what you're given, but never lose that drive for knowing that you deserve more. You deserve more because you're worth it, right? And so yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I feel like some of you needed to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to address this second question, and I might actually wear the blue light glasses. So yeah, a lot of the times when I'm working on your cases and I'm analyzing your eyes, like I'll have to wear these blue light glasses and put the blue light setting on my screen, because we don't even know the harmful effects of blue lights from tablets or cell phones or laptops or all these different devices. So like, better to be safe than sorry. I might look like a nerd with these glasses on right now, but I don't care. Okay, so here goes for the next question. Hello, Ailin. Hello. How are you today? I'm pretty good. I am so grateful for all your videos. I want to know, according to popular belief, if diabetes patients or people with systemic candida cannot go fruit fasting, like taking watermelon, oranges, lime, lemon, grapefruit, will this worsen their blood sugar levels? Okay, so I've talked a lot about this in prior videos, but really, you can't worsen blood sugar issues or diabetes conditions by eating fruit. It's 100% not possible due to our anatomy and our physiology. All the cells in our bodies easily absorb fructose, which is the simple sugar found in fruit. The type of sugar that all the cells have trouble with is actually complex sugars like glucose, or like any sort of sugar that comes from a starch, really, or even greens or vegetables. So glucose or greens, glucose from the greens or vegetables, that poses more of a problem than actual fructose from simple sugars, because fructose does not require insulin to be absorbed into the cell. So you won't have elevated blood sugar issues while on a fruit diet. In actuality, the only people and the only time that I have seen that is in the initial stages of detox, but it only lasts maximum a few days, maximum maybe like a week. And that's what's called glucose loading. That's when in the initial stages of detoxing your body, once you start to eat fruit, and this is very easily handled just by regulating how much insulin you're taking, right? But in the initial stages, you have fat surrounding all the cells because of the harmful diet you've been consuming, the standard American diet, right? So really, it's if you're consuming an overabundance of fat while also eating sugar or like even fructose or glucose, then you'll have a problem with the cells absorbing the simple sugars or any sort of sugar. That's when you will need insulin. But as you detox your body, once you get past that initial stage of glucose loading, what happens? All that fat will start to dissolve from outside of the cell, and then your body will start to absorb the simple sugars from fruits very easily. So really nothing to worry about. It's really only a few days, like literally like 2 or 3 days, and people are already needing to reduce their dosage of insulin or even completely get off of insulin. Super easy to do that while detoxing on a raw fruit, raw vegan diet, right? And so let's see what else you said. Okay, so you go on to have like a huge list of symptoms. So, and I want to say this first off, like if you are someone that has like, you know, diabetes or candida issues, you want to focus on the root cause of those diseases. So if it's like diabetes type 1, that's always going to make you think, okay, that problem is coming from the pancreas because the beta cells are not producing insulin, right? So that's why you need insulin in order to regulate your blood sugar levels. But that can be healed by regenerating the pancreas, by healing the pancreas with diet and with herbs and with formulas, right? Now, if it's diabetes type 2, that's an adrenal gland weakness. That's a sugar metabolism issue. So all you would have to do is go in there and heal your adrenal glands. So many people even have undiagnosed diabetes type 2, and pretty much any person with blood sugar issues that need to eat like smaller meals more often, their blood sugar gets low very fast, and pretty much all the symptomology can be packaged into diabetes type 2, right? And likewise, if it's type 1 diabetes, it could be a neurological type of diabetes. Having a parathyroid gland weakness also affects that because the parathyroid gland is part of the neurological system as well as the adrenal gland. So you'd have to address all those depending on if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, and depending on the level of weakness that you see in your eyes when you get your irises analyzed and your case assessed. And then that's what will help you build your herbal protocol to heal all these weaknesses. So you can do you say if diabetes patients or people with systemic candida can go fruit fasting. So I actually recommend people to, if you're just starting on a raw food diet, don't jump into a 100% fruit diet right away, because think of just how much toxicity you have been building up in your body for years and for decades, right? You want to start on a 100% raw diet with some greens and some salad at nighttime or in the afternoon time. Then you won't experience like aggressive detox symptoms and not know what to do, right? So just take that balanced approach initially, and then you can go into fruit fasting once you become comfortable on just the raw diet with fruits and vegetables and greens, right? And you will have just a better detox experience in that way. But you can definitely mono meal, like sit down and eat single meals of watermelon or single meals of oranges or lime or lemon. Definitely you can do that, right? And for people that have been on the raw diet for a long time, you guys can go fruit fasting for sure, because you have already spent that time cleaning out your body, cleaning out the mucus out of your colon and through the lymph system, through the kidneys. So it's not going to be something that's very difficult for you to do, and you'll be able to maintain it, right? Because a lot of the times people see detoxification as like heal your body quickly sort of scheme, and that's not the case. Think about it in this way. We have trillions of cells in our bodies. We have been throwing acidosis, gathering up cellular toxicity, cellular waste in our bodies for decades. However old you are, let's say if you're someone that's 40 years old, that's 40 years of toxic buildup. That is not eliminated in just a week or in just a month. Now, luckily, you're not going to have to spend 40 years eliminating all this toxicity, right? You may have to spend a year working on deeply detoxing your body to heal from disease. And it really depends on how long you want to detox. What is your goal for healing yourself, or what is your goal for a healthy lifestyle? For people with chronic health issues like fibromyalgia or diabetes or Lyme disease or lupus or, you know, any sort of chronic health condition or even cancer or having tumors, you need to be on this detox journey for as long as it takes to completely heal whatever it is that you have. You know, that almost goes without saying, right? You want to stay on it for as long as you can. I generally see that can take anywhere from 8 months to a year and a half of focusing on detox to heal those sort of health issues, right? If we're talking about like, okay, you're in a wheelchair and you have multiple sclerosis or you have a neurological disorder, that can take a year to 2 years. Understandably so. You have to regenerate. You literally have to rebuild the nervous system. But the only system of healing that can do that, that has been proven to do that, is a fruit diet, a raw food fruit diet with herbs. Nothing else, nothing else. No paleo diet, no keto diet, no anti-candida diet, no, you know, medical medium diet. Those diet systems are not strong enough to heal neurological disorders or to regenerate the cells of the organs and glands of your body. Now, a plant-based diet, high raw diet with some cooked foods can be excellent for transitioning into a raw diet, right? But by the time you spend some time on that level, you're ready for raw. Your body will start craving it. It will be easier than flying a kite, because your taste buds have changed and because you feel so excellent and great, right? So if you're someone that feels like resistance to eating a raw vegan diet, you just start on the first level. Start with eating mostly raw, 100% vegan. Start with like 70% raw, right? Mostly fruit. And I can guarantee you, in a few weeks' time, you'll feel like you've plateaued and you'll feel like you're ready for the next level, which is 100% raw. Super easy, okay? So, here's what you say. You say you have the following. Okay, so you say you have endometriosis, liver infection. Okay, so you have a huge list here, so I'm going to kind of go down the list. So since you have endometriosis, you can already think, oh wow, your lymph system is backing up in your uterus. Highly inflamed. And what can happen is, with all this acidosis, the wall of the uterus can literally glue itself to the colon wall. And when that happens, I personally experienced this with endometriosis, and my clients that come to me with endometriosis experiences, and it's very painful that every time you have a bowel movement, your uterus can literally inflame, and it can be very unpredictable what sets off these flare-ups in your uterus with endometriosis. Very similar to IBS, like inflammatory bowel syndrome or inflammatory bowel disease. Very similar. It's essentially the same thing going on, just in your uterus. So just think of acidosis, inflammation, what you have to cut back on and pull and remove with the fruits. The fruits have that astringent power, hydrating power to pull on the lymph system and pull on all this burning cellular waste, and it's going to remove it through the kidneys, and your uterus is going to be nice and clean, nice and healthy, and endometriosis will be gone. Okay, so really think about that. Now, liver infection, like we said before, any sort of infections are just going to be a byproduct of acidosis. So eliminate the acids, all infections will be gone. The next thing you said here is gallbladder dyskinesia. So it sounds to me like you're having issues with your liver or gallbladder. Another case of having liver gallbladder issues. I guess like this is like a common theme in this video. But yeah, if you have like any problems with like your abdomen is in pain, on your right side, that's where your liver gallbladder is, or if you have problems with like nausea or vomiting, or you can often see it in your eyes too. When I look at your eyes through iridology, the whites of your eyes, if you see like yellowing, that can be indication of having a liver, gallbladder, or bile toxicity. So in that case, you would definitely want to be on a liver gallbladder formula. Likewise, if you like eat fatty foods, if you eat anything, even healthy fats like avocados or coconuts or nuts or seeds or olive oil or stuff like that, and you start to feel pain or experience some sort of intolerance to that, then you know that your gallbladder is in trouble, your liver is in trouble, okay? Kidney pain, okay, that's concerning. If you have kidney pain, a lot of the times people with kidney pain have lymph node issues. Their lymph nodes are struggling to buffer the acids being sent to the lymph nodes before being eliminated through the kidneys. So I would really recommend for you to take the lymph node formula. That will be good. Liver gallbladder formula, female reproductive formula for your endometriosis, a kidney formula, and adrenal formula. Since I take it you probably have candida and diabetic blood sugar issues, since you asked about that. And a lymphatic formula, general lymphatic, lymphatic 1 tincture, lymphatic spleen, mild formula or moderate formula would be good for you. Okay, moving on, you said you have anemia. That right there tells us that you have an adrenal gland weakness, because the adrenals control mineral utilization. And if you have like iron anemia or B12 deficiency anemia, then that goes back to the adrenal glands. So you want to address your adrenals. Metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndrome, very typically when people say that you have that, when a doctor labels you with that, it means that you're like excessively skinny, you're not really absorbing much. It really goes back to the first question when we were talking about malabsorption. That's what we also see here. So you got to work on your pancreas, you got to work on eliminating mucus from your colon to correct this. Okay, insulin dependent diabetes. So right here we see if you have insulin dependent diabetes, you need a pancreas formula. Now if I were to look at your eyes, I most likely will see a huge pancreas, chronic genetic pancreas weakness. So I would give you the pancreas glandular most likely to help your beta cells genetically remember how to produce insulin again. Because if you lose that, then you're going to have a life of suffering and all the symptoms and all the degenerative issues that come with having diabetes. And I have to tell you this much, guys. If you're insulin dependent, the more often you take insulin, the more your pancreas will become lazy over time, to where your beta cells will stop producing insulin altogether. And I say this time and time again on these videos and in our consultations together. If you're taking a steroid or a hormone or something that your body is supposed to be producing naturally on its own, then that corresponding gland or organ that you're trying to prop up, that gland or organ will get lazy over time. So you want to, not saying do not like stop taking your insulin, obviously, but you're going to slowly titrate off of your insulin, checking your blood sugar levels while you're on a detox program. And it can be very useful just to understand detoxification while you're doing that. Ask your medical doctor if they can help you, like, whoever prescribed you the insulin, if they can help you. But a lot of times they're not open to that way of thinking, and it's a shame that doctors don't even want to help their patients come off of medications and help them heal. It's almost like medical doctors want you to be dependent on them for life and suffer the horrible repercussions of having been on any sort of medication for years. That's not right. That's not right in my book. So in those times and in those cases, you really do have to take health into your own hands. Take back your responsibility and train yourself on how to do it yourself. Then it's not that hard and you can do it. I believe in you. So yeah, and also like if you are someone with insulin dependent diabetes, along with the pancreas formula, I would also give you the brain and nerve formula to strengthen your neurological system, your nervous system, and an adrenal formula regardless, because all those different systems come into play when healing diabetes. The next thing is fibroid. So fibroid and actually ovarian cysts. So, you know, you always have to think about this. Whenever you start to form like hardened masses or cysts or tumors or fibroids, anything like that, within your body, within your organs, or within your glands, you just go back to thinking, okay, my lymphatic system is backed up. I really need to get it moving, because with areas that are lymphatically congested, areas can harden. That's what acids do. Acids begin to harden, create rocks or create tumors or pocketed areas full of lymphatic sewage. And that's what a cyst or a tumor or a fibroid is. It's actually your body attempting to close that area off to protect the surrounding tissues from the burn of the sewage, from the burn of the waste. If it didn't do that, you'd be dead like that. The tissue would decay like that. So it's really your body giving you a chance at healing. It's buying you time, but that doesn't mean that we should just sit back and not do anything. You need to work with your body and take proactive steps in healing this, right? So I really like to recommend for women that have fibroids or ovarian cysts, along with the detox protocol, along with the raw food diet and all the herbs that I mentioned, you can take like the Heal All tea and douche with it to help clean out the uterine wall, to help clean out the vaginal wall, to help just pull lymphatically through that region. And so you can get rid of like your fibroids and ovarian cysts in that way. But like I said, you definitely need to be on lymphatic formulas and kidney formulas and see if your kidneys are filtering too. Check when you're on your detox journey. What you want to do is at least once a week, get like a clear jar, like a mason jar, and pee in it and see if you're seeing the sewage and the sediment. All that is lymphatic waste. You don't want your urine to be clear. If it's clear, it means your kidneys are not filtering these lymphatic wastes, and it's kind of just like recirculating in your body, not really doing anything. It may be moving out of the tissue, but it's going to go back and settle in that place if your kidneys aren't filtering. So what that looks like is, it'll look like cloudy urine, or it can look like mucus strands, or it can look like sediment settling on the bottom of the jar. So pee in a clear jar or a clear cup, leave it to the side for a few hours, come back to it and see if you see anything. If the urine is cloudy or has sediment, then you're good to go. It means you are removing waste from your body during your detox program. And the more of that you see, and more consistently you see that, then your ovarian cysts are going to be going down, your fibroids will start to dissolve. Really, the hardest part of detox can be to get your kidneys to filter. And I'll say this much, a lot of the times, the people that come to me, it's because they're like, people that know about detox and that have been trying to detox on their own for a long time, they struggle with getting kidney filtration, and they come to me often to like help their kidneys turn on to filter, because once you guys, like once you get that turning on of the kidneys, that's when you're really in the ball game. That's when you really start to see all your symptoms disappear and your diseases start to reverse, right? But the body has other ways until the kidneys start to filter that you can really make it by, and you can see a lot of improvements. You eliminate a lot of acidosis through your colon and through your skin and through your breath. So, those are like the 4 channels of elimination. It's, the lungs, the kidneys, the skin, the colon. That's pretty much it, like in terms of your elimination pathways. So, you just want all of them to be open and functioning during your detox to have the best success rate and the best experience during your detox. Okay, so the next thing you mentioned is polyps. So polyps is like any sort of abnormal tissue growth on any mucous membrane. That can be in your colon. The colon has the mucosa. That can be in your sinuses. That can be in your lungs. So all of these are considered mucosa tissue. And it's the same thing. What causes that inflammation? What causes that polyp? Same thing that causes a cyst, same thing that causes a tumor, right? It depends on where it is. If you have polyps in your colon, I highly recommend then doing a Heal-All Tea enema practically daily or weekly, you know, as much as you can, to hold on to the astringent herbs in that colon. Let it heal, let it pull on the lymph system, let it pull on the mucosa. You'll see polyps shrink going down, 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 okay, during your detox. If you have polyps in your nasal cavity, then what you could do is you can do nasal irrigation. Put the Heal-All Tea in a neti pot and then do the neti pot, the nasal irrigation. Fantastic, right? If you have polyps in your lungs, then you can really utilize the 3-lung tea or the 3-lung tincture at helping you to dissolve polyps in your lungs and helping you to heal your lungs. So that's my take on any sort of polyps that you may have. You also say lung infection, same thing with your liver infection. Don't focus on the infection part. You really just want to clean up your lungs. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You say that you have lupus as well. So with everything that you've told me, you're backed up. Acidosis from head to toe. Head to toe. Guaranteed head to toe. And with lupus is just systemic acidosis, burning the tissue and creating inflammation and creating pain and creating fatigue. All this is from the acids, like I said before. So it's going to be so key for you to focus on, you know, your protocol should have a lot of kidney formulas and a lot of lymphatic formulas and a lot of adrenal formula emphasis. Emphasis on those 3 is going to be your #1 priority and highly key. And fruits that are hydrating and alkalizing to your system are going to be very key as well. You know, we haven't really spoken on what types of fruits. All fruits are going to be healing, but there are certain fruits that are more beneficial to certain areas of the body than others. That's kind of like what we really talk about in consultations together, you know, in the Master Your Health package. I go through with you like what fruits, you know, and also based on your availability and what fruits you like, and you know what fruits you can find organic, and also like what weaknesses you have. So for instance, for you, since you have a lot of lung issues, I really recommend you know, oranges and citrus foods that can help break down a lot of mucus accumulations within the lungs. Likewise, since you tend to have a lot of like tumor, cyst, polyp formation, that tells me you have a lymphatic weakness, lymphatic system weakness. So focusing on grapes is going to be fantastic for you, as well as lemons or limes. If you combine those, they're the most powerful at pulling your lymphatic system, okay? And since you definitely have adrenal gland weakness, since you have, you know, inflammatory issues, problems filtering from your kidneys, blood sugar issues, you know, all these different things, incorporate berries into your life. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, things like that. Having berry smoothies will be fantastic at helping you heal your adrenal glands and all the glands of your body. And for pain, since you have pain like kidney pain and lupus, you know, you want to consume melons, like watermelons or cantaloupes or honeydew, things like that. Now keep in mind, fruits, if you're very toxic on the inside, fruits are going to show you your weaknesses. Fruits are going to show you where your body's going to be working on. But it's really fantastic and really fascinating and so inspiring how amazing the body is, truly. Like, you start to eat these foods, you start to eat these fruits, and it starts to get to work, starts to go to town. So wherever you are the most compromised, you'll start to feel detox symptoms in those areas. For instance, since you have endometriosis, right? And you start to eat the raw food diet, you can feel like pulling pains on your uterus as your body starts to heal. You can experience seeing the discharge of everything that you're holding into, like in your uterus with the fibroids and endometriosis. You can start to see brown discharge, mucus, clots. When you're on your period, you start to see all these strange things that you didn't see before, and it's because your body was holding on to them for so long. So now that you start to see it and it's starting to get expelled, don't automatically start to worry. You have to rejoice. You have to say thank you body, for finally eliminating this, because elimination doesn't mean that you're getting worse. It means that you're getting better, and it's the necessary process for the body to heal. Okay, we've been so conditioned to rely on just a pill. Just take this pill and your symptom is gone and you're healed. That is bogus. That has never been the case and will never be the case, because just taking one pill or one medication, and just because you see the symptom disappear temporarily, doesn't mean that the problem is gone. The problem is still inside, and you're just biding your time. You're just waiting for it to flare up again. It always eventually flares up again if you don't take care of the root cause, which will always be the lymphatic system being stagnant. Okay, so and let's see, and okay, the next thing that you said was your menstrual flow is very slippery and sticky. That would be the case with having endometriosis and fibroids and ovarian cysts. Your female reproductive organs are going haywire right now. I would really recommend the female reproductive formula to help balance out any hormonal disruptions or hormonal issues that you may be going through. And since you have like all these different things like digestive issues, female reproductive issues, I can already see that your colon is probably a big mess. And these types of people, like yourself, like if I saw your eyes, guaranteed you probably have some lesions going up into the brain region in your eyes. So I'm suspecting you might have a pituitary gland weakness. That's very possible. The pituitary gland controls the female cycle. So if you haven't already seen this yet, people with pituitary weaknesses can see the disappearing of their female cycle or the reappearing, very irregular menstrual period, or excessively bleeding, like heavy flow. All this can be seen from having a pituitary weakness or ovarian weakness, because you have ovarian cysts. So it's only a matter of time before your ovaries start to, fail in their function, right? Okay, so I started fruit fasting on day 5. More or less, I feel like I'm dying. I am in Africa where things are very hard. Do I have any hope? You have all the hope in the world, Herbs are there for you. If not the herbs, at least start to do the raw food diet. I wouldn't start fruit fasting. It seems like you're taking things too aggressively. You haven't mentioned what your diet looked like before, but I'm pretty sure that your diet was not like optimal. Most likely it was just your standard diet with eating, all types of foods, right? Cooked foods. So you want to just go on a raw diet, which was what I consider to be level 2 of detoxification, which is fruit all day, salad at night, right? Or a raw vegan dinner at night. What you're doing is level 3, which is 100% fruit, which you can get to that level, but if you feel like you're dying, if you feel like you're going through a lot of detox symptoms, then you just have to slow things down just a little bit temporarily on your diet until you feel things are okay again, and you can jump back up to fruit, 100% fruit level or 100% fruit fasting, okay? So, and like I said, you live in Africa, it doesn't matter, where you live, you can still heal. We get clients from Africa all the time that have, a lot of these systemic issues. and I want to say this, like a lot of people that come to me for me to help them and guide them in the healing of their health issues, this is very typical. So, you know, some people might be watching this video and think, oh my God, like this person is like dying, right? Or this person has so many problems. This is very common. Your average person that comes to us has very close to this list of problems, if not even more. Sometimes people write in to me like their health assessments are novels. It's like the size of a novel, and that's how serious the human condition has become in their disease. It's so sad, but I'm here to tell you guys that you can reverse this. You know, look to people like myself. I healed from, you know, I can tell you, I had a lot of these issues. I had endometriosis, I had liver, gallbladder pain, kidney pain, I had anemia, I had malabsorption issues, I had, you know, like issues with my lungs, I had fibromyalgia, not lupus, but it's pretty much both of them caused by systemic inflammation. I had menstrual issues and a lot more, you know. If I can do it, and I've seen hundreds of people over the years being healed from these very issues through detox, I would not be here today spending hours talking to you guys on how to heal your health issues if I didn't believe that it was possible, and it is 100% possible, okay? So you can do it. You can follow that raw vegan journey and you'll heal everything, okay? So yeah, I hope that answered your questions and concerns. I did my best to try and help you understand everything that's going on, but I'm very confident that you can do it. And if you want like further guidance or further support, then you can go to my website at www.spiritualhealing.com and just look at the services, and I would really recommend the Master Your Health package for you. You would really do very well with like support and guidance, you know, or you can email us if you have any other questions, okay? But yeah, thank you so much for writing in. And any of you guys, like if you guys need help, write into us, send us an email if you want to work with me one-on-one, or you can comment down below, and you know, I'm likely to answer your question in future videos. Okay, so I think this video has become a little long, so I'm gonna save the next questions for the next video, okay? But until then, I hope all of you are just doing very well on your detox journeys, on your health journeys, and always remember that health is in your hands. Don't let anyone ever tell you that what you have is not curable. You know, those people are speaking from a place of misunderstanding or a place of closed-mindedness, and oftentimes a place of inexperience, you know. So take it from me, from someone that has been in the healing game for decades. I've made this my life goal, my life mission, to help as many people as possible heal the way I have healed, and the way hundreds, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people have healed on a raw vegan diet, and also with detoxification with herbs and iridology. 100% possible, okay? You just have to want it. You have to want it so bad so that you can, after you heal your diseases, you can live your life completely free. Free from pain, free from fear, free from suffering, free from, you know, being reliant on medications, or if you're bedbound, you know, reliant on other people. I've been there. I know it really, you know, it can really mess with you mentally and emotionally, but you have the power, and all you have to do is start today, okay? So for any of you guys out there that need support and guidance in your healing journey, and you believe that detoxification is the answer, then work with me one-on-one. You can go to my website at www.spiritualhealing.com. on the services tab, you'll find the Master Your Health package. That's the package that I recommend to every client, because with that package, you get a consultation with me one-on-one, an iris analysis, a specific diet plan and herbal protocol geared to healing your symptoms and your diseases based on the root cause of all the weaknesses I see in your eyes and in your case, right? And then you get specific detox tools to help heighten and enhance your detox journey to really reach the level of healing that your body is capable of, okay? So yeah, all that information will be down in the description box below this video. And yeah, I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to work with all of you in the healing of your health issues. So I love you all so much, and take care.